Welcome back, gang. JD Videography Series, episode 29. Today, I want to talk about my experience with YouTube from its humble beginnings to what it is today. But I'm going to go even further back to the origins of the internet and the beginning of file sharing. So, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I first connected to the internet in 1995 via America Online software that my family was using at that time, with our 28K modem. Now, well, maybe some of you are still too young to remember a world before Wi Fi, but in the early days when we connected to the internet using a telephone landline, it was a slow and arduous process. So, downloading or streaming long videos was nigh impossible. It took several minutes just for graphics to show up. But I so loved watching short videos on the early internet. I'll talk more about my early internet experience in a future video, but as I mentioned before, two of my passions of that time were Sailor Moon and Final Fantasy. In 1996, I was completely addicted to Sailor Moon and wanted to experience as much of it as possible. And as I had already mentioned, totally fell in love with the music of the series. The music, coupled with the animation, completely absorbed me. So I scoured the early internet for music videos of Sailor Moon, especially the songs My Only Love and Rainy Day Man, and I downloaded them in their low quality AVI format glory, each being about 5 megabytes that took an hour or two each to completely download. And I stored them along with other videos on a 100 megabyte iOmega zip disk. I had about 15 video files totaling about an hour, and that took up a substantial part of my 1996. In 1997, the highly anticipated Final Fantasy VII was released, boasting outrageous animation ability. So, I went to one of my favorite websites of that time, RP Gamer, and downloaded a ton of Final Fantasy VII animated videos, mostly of summons. By this time, we had a 56K modem, so it didn't take as long, but with a video as long as Knights of the Round summon, it still took at least an hour to download. So, suffice to say, I was hooked on early internet videos. Now, in 1998, one of the earliest video sharing sites and a precursor to YouTube, Atom Films, was founded, boasting short 2 to 3 minute video clips of various types of animation, including cell drawing, computer animation, and stop motion capture, to name a few. Well, Shockwave Flash Video, which was later absorbed by Adobe, was the main format of computer video animation at that time. In 1999, my older brother introduced me to a short animated series, Radiskull and Devil Doll by Joe Sparks, which lasted until about 2003. Concurrently, I also watched several videos on Atom Films, including Bill Plimpton's Plimptoons and several grotesque videos by Joe Cartoon, including Superfly and Microwaving Gerbil. Yes, I was going through a very dark time in my life back then. But more on that in another video. I continued with Atom Films until about 2005. Well, by then, we had moved away from a modem and went straight into a T1 internet line. At which point, I started looking for other avenues of video sharing, including the ill fated LimeWire, I met my angel Natasha in 2007, who encouraged me to get involved with social media. So that year, I jumped on the bandwagon and tried to register with as many different sites as possible. The first being MySpace, soon followed by Facebook and YouTube. Besides several music videos and Final Fantasy animations, one of the earliest videos I watched on YouTube was a satirical skit called College Saga, a kind of Final Fantasy esque approach to college life. It was hilarious, so I thought that was kind of interesting and climbed further down the rabbit hole. And that's when I found Miss Hannah Minx. Well, I really don't know what caused me to find that particular channel, but probably had to do with my love of Japanese and Japanese music. So I watched her videos and found them to be altogether hilarious and at the same time endearing. So I subscribed to her channel, making it my very first channel subscription. Well, I should point out that in 2009, many of my friends overseas also had YouTube channels, and some even had videos that I watched, liked, and even subscribed to show my support. Not long after I discovered the Hot for Words channel with Marina Orlova. Again, I'm not sure how I stumbled upon that channel, but YouTube is a funny place. So, at any rate, I watched her videos and quite enjoyed them, as I'd like to learn the origins of English words. So that was some of my earliest YouTube experience. But, of course, my main interest at that time was still music and animation. So I discovered the Shadow Leggy channel around 2009, sporting some unique anime like animation of Resident Evil in a kind of Robot Chicken esque parody skit format, sometimes even with musical accompaniments. I thought it was great, even though I had never played any of the Resident Evil games and couldn't really understand the premise of the videos. I knew a little about Resident Evil, having seen the film of the same name, but I digress. In 2009, I posted my first YouTube video, a homage to the anime Utawareru Mono, featuring the song Battlefield by Jordan Sparks. From 2009 until 2010, I was also playing a lot of Final Fantasy X2, and I was looking for the lyrics of a particular Japanese song from that game, 1,000 Words, or Sen no Kotaba in Japanese, when I stumbled upon a video by the YouTuber Tinkerchell singing that song. Well, I thought she was absolutely adorable, and perhaps the most adorable YouTuber I had subscribed to even to this day. Well, I suppose Yao Renmao would be a close second. At any rate, I continued to watch and enjoy Tinkershell's videos, especially the videos of her singing. In addition, I posted my second YouTube video, the animated music video, of the anime Chance Pop Session with the song Superstar by Alexandra Amor. Also in 2010, thanks to my friends overseas, I became interested in K-pop and watched a ton of K-pop videos on YouTube, especially Sistar, After School, Girls' Generation, and Tiara. In the beginning of 2011, thanks to Sistar, I discovered a Vietnamese American YouTuber named Hong Tao. I apologize if I mispronounced the name, who sung an English version of a Sistar song. So I listened to her sing songs in other languages as well, including Thai and Vietnamese. She had a truly beautiful voice. Also that year, I discovered videos for the duo singing and dancing channel Screen Team, thanks to their Optimus Prime video. And while I was looking for music for Mega Man 3, quite possibly the best music of the classic Nintendo, I stumbled upon a With Lyrics of Mega Man 3 by YouTuber Brentalfloss. So I watched other videos of his, especially the With Lyrics videos, such as the Zelda ones, but also his lesser known interviews with the Mega Man Robot Masters. I also discovered a fan made Mega Man video, Mega Man movie. Around 2012, I started watching the College Humor channel. I first discovered it when I was looking for information about Street Fighter II Turbo, which I had been playing at that time, and found their high production Street Fighter, the later years series, which was hilariously impressive. The production quality of early College Humor videos was very high, and they referenced so much pop culture, anime, and video game content that I liked. So there were videos like The Tetris God, Stormtroopers 9/11, and Star Fox in Iraq, to name a few. And I continued to watch College Humor and its animated sister channel Dorkly until about 2015 or 2016, when sadly their production value fell considerably. The last funny video series was the College Humor Final Destination gag, but after that it was just politically correct couch talk videos, and I unsubscribed shortly thereafter. College Humor was always a bit hit or miss, but by that time it was more miss than hit. I also discovered Key of Awesome thanks to actress model Lauren Francesco, who also starred in some College Humor videos, particularly the Key of Awesome Space Girl series and Tron Girl. At that time, I had also begun watching music videos of Taiwanese music. Two in particular that I liked were Cindy Wang and The Weather Girls. In 2013, I released a third video, a kind of Harlem Shake video, but set in the anime Air. In early 2014, I published a list video of top 10 funny commercials. Then I moved to China and kind of phased out of YouTube for a year or so. In late 2015 into 2016, I started watching a live action Sailor Moon series called Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. Also, I found a fan made Sailor Moon movie. In 2016, after searching for some material for school, I came across some Japanese music videos. This led me first to discover some YouTubers in Japan, namely Rachel and June, Charla, and several others, but especially the Abroad in Japan channel that was filled with Japanese culture and British witticisms. And thanks to Perfume and other Japanese pop musicians, I came across the Fine Brothers channel with their React videos, which also helped me to find a slew of new Japanese music, including baby metal, which was just taking off at that time, and Lady Baby as well. And also another reactor, Fujiko, who had reacted to a Fine Brothers video, of which I discovered in early 2017. Now, I loved watching her reaction videos and her drawing videos as well, but mostly just enjoyed seeing her beauty. And speaking of which, I also found Japanese Amma with Misa about the same time, who taught Japanese language. Again, I mostly just watched her channel because she is gorgeous and has such a soothing voice. And then Fujiko's reaction videos led me to find the Ruby RWBY series by Monty Oum and Rooster Teeth. Now, I was no stranger to Monty's work, having watched both the Dead Fantasy, a mixture of Final Fantasy and Dead or Alive, as well as Haloid, a combination of Halo and Metroid series. In 2017, I discovered the Because Science channel, in which host Kyle Hill explained the science behind superheroes and anime and video games, and basically science fiction in general. Eventually, Kyle started his own channel to teach science, and there was also Shadiversity, in which host Shad, a fantasy enthusiast, would teach about castles and weapons and armor, mostly from the medieval period, but also including some things about other cultures and such. For instance, Japan. In late 2017, early 2018, I discovered Pro Jared and his gaming channel, and I loved his reviews of my beloved classic video games, as well as his Let's Play series, especially with randomizers. And MXR, with their witty and endearing videos, which sadly has recently become a collection of memes and clickbait. Nowadays, I watch political comedy channels like Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers, and that pretty much sums up my experience with YouTube. Now, there is a lot of other content that I enjoyed, but to describe every video I watched on the internet would take far longer than I could possibly upload for this video. YouTube is a pitfall with lots of twists and turns that just lead all over the place. A labyrinth, so it would be impossible for me to remember every video I watched and in what order I watched them. Overall, my YouTube experience has been fairly positive. Many of my earlier channels I'm still subscribed to, despite not releasing content. So, if you like this video, give the thumbs up, share, and subscribe, and consider donating on my Patreon. Link below. That about wraps it up for this episode. It was long overdue, and I look forward to sharing more next time. Until then.